Shrek 5 is happening. This is honestly one of the most exciting movie announcements that I've seen in a long, long time. This is actually the moment I saw this get announced, I was genuinely hyped. And it was probably the most hyped I've been for a movie in such a long time. I mean, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. This is like a key defining piece of media of my childhood and a lot of other people's childhoods. I mean, this movie came out the year that I was born, and it's really stood the test of time. The whole series has stood the test of time. It's just I don't even think I need to explain it because I think it's one of those things where there's basically just a universal consensus that Shrek is like a piece of art. The government seems to agree because it was submitted into the Library of Congress in 2020. And that is not easy. So honestly, this is actually really really exciting. And I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts on what I expect from Shrek 5 and what I hope we get because believe it or not, and as many of you may know, Shrek 5 was actually planned initially. There was supposed to be a fifth Shrek movie until Shrek the Third did disappointing, and once Shrek 4 was being written, Jeffrey Katzenberg personally felt that the fourth movie was the right place to stop the series, which, considering the guy likes money, that was definitely an uncharacteristic decision for him. Uh, but what we were going to get from Shrek 5 initially was it was gonna explore the concept of how Shrek got to the swamp in the first place. But again, they felt that Shrek Forever After was just a good place to stop. And I don't blame them because, yeah, Shrek Forever After did kind of feel like a good place to end it. It was definitely a good ending for the series, and I think it wrapped it up relatively perfectly. And I definitely feel like the last two movies were unfortunately lukewarm in reception compared to the first two, which are considered to be like among the greatest movies of all time, deservedly so. But it does kind of suck because the concept of Shrek 5 on its own, just exploring that theme of how Shrek got to the swamp in the first place and maybe like learning about his parents and his like family when he was a kid. For for anyone that doesn't know, initially, and this was kind of referenced in Shrek the Third. Apparently, Shrek's parents might have been cannibals, and his dad tried to eat him. So there was a lot there that they wanted to explore, but they just felt that Shrek Forever After was a place to just end things. But luckily, they seem to have come around on that decision, and that's really cool. And honestly, I do hope that we get that story, but I would also not mind if they went along with maybe continuing the same story in another regard. I mean, the babies that Shrek had at the end of the series, we could find out perhaps what they're like when they're growing up. Maybe the series can be like a little soft reboot in the sense that it's maybe the kids are like more at the center of the story. I kind of doubt that. um, I think Shrek will still be the main character, but there's definitely a lot that can be worked with in that regard where they explore the future. But on the same token, I would also definitely not mind it if they went ahead with the original story they were going to go with. But honestly, it might be completely different, and a main part of that is Chris Melandari. I definitely pronounced that name wrong. Give me a quick second. Let me check for that name. Hmm. Okay, I think the way that you pronounce it is Chris Meledandri. Yeah, Chris Meledandri is apparently really really involved in the story for Shrek 5. And if if you don't know who that is the CEO of Illumination. He's actually producing this movie. Well, he's one of the producers, and odds are he, and this has been indicated in previous reports, he did play a role in the story, and he kind of wanted a reinvention of the series. So it's super possible, it's possibly a soft reboot of sorts, but on the same aspect, I think that it's very, very, very possible that perhaps that's entirely incorrect, and maybe the same story that they were gonna go with originally happens. And one way that this could actually be balanced well is they could explore Shrek's past, but they could also set it up in a way where it plays into Shrek's role as a father as his own kids are growing up, and he remembers how his parents were, and maybe we meet his parents, maybe they're still alive somewhere, and they play a role in the story. And then I guess either his parents are the villains, or I don't know. There's like another Rumpelstiltskin type character who wants to reboot the entire thing, or they could just do like a Matrix 4 thing where the movie sucks, but it's like a beautiful train wreck in the sense that um, it's almost like meta, and that would kind of be nice, but I really, really doubt that. I really doubt that it's going to be like that. I think they genuinely do want to make a good story. Honestly, the possibilities are just endless, and, I've rambled a bit, but I genuinely cannot wait until July 1st, 2026. I am going to watch that in theaters. Like, it's no doubt. I cannot wait for this. This is like my most anticipated movie of the decade so far. So honestly, amazing. I can't wait to see Shrek 5. Let's go.